The mindset shift that changes everything begins with one core principle: taking ownership of your life. No more excuses, no more blaming the system, the circumstances, or anyone else. The moment you decide that every result, every setback, every triumph is on you, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for rescue and start building your escape. The world doesn't care about your excuses, but it will respect and reward your results. Own your journey fully, and you will find that the power to shape your destiny was in your hands all along. Resilience is the hallmark of winners. Life will test you. It will throw challenges, heartbreak, and failure in your path. Weak minds crumble under the pressure, but strong minds use it as fuel. Resilience is the ability to stand up, dust yourself off, and face the fight again and again. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: the successful refuse to quit. They understand that persistence beats talent and grit beats luck. An abundance mentality is the key to unlocking limitless potential. Most people operate from scarcity, terrified that there's never enough to go around, whether it's money, love, or opportunities. This scarcity mindset is a prison that limits creativity, action, and growth. But when you shift to an abundance mindset, you stop worrying about competition and start creating. You realize the pie isn't fixed, you can bake a bigger one. This shift will open doors you didn't even know existed. Thinking doesn't change the world, action does. Overthinking is the trap that keeps most people stagnant. They plan endlessly, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Winners understand that action, even imperfect action, is the antidote to fear and doubt. Stop waiting. Start doing. The world rewards those who step into the arena, not those who watch from the sidelines. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort zones are a trap designed to keep you small, safe, and stagnant. The truth is, nothing worthwhile happens inside that bubble. To grow, you must embrace discomfort. Whether it's hitting the gym, taking risks in business, or putting yourself out there, growth demands you push past the edge of what feels safe. The moment you embrace discomfort is the moment you unlock your true potential. Your beliefs are the foundation of your reality. If you believe you're destined for mediocrity, your actions will align with that belief, and mediocrity will be your outcome. But if you reprogram your mind with beliefs of strength, power, and success, you'll begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Change your internal dialogue, and your external world will shift in ways that feel almost magical. Focusing on the process is what separates amateurs from masters. Too many people obsess over the outcome, neglecting the journey. True mastery comes from loving the grind, those long, unglamorous hours when no one is watching and no one cares. Success is built in the moments when you show up day after day, regardless of whether you feel like it. Fall in love with the process, and the results will come as a byproduct. Finally, there's no room for distraction when you're chasing greatness. The world is full of noise, trying to pull your focus in 100 different directions. But winners don't get distracted. They set massive, audacious goals and pursue them with an intensity that borders on obsession. You have to want it more than you want comfort, entertainment, or approval from others. Lock in your focus, eliminate the distractions, and watch how quickly your life transforms. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. It's not magic, it's not luck. It's a conscious decision to live with purpose, to think differently, and to act relentlessly. The moment you commit, you'll realize you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. Resilience is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Life is a contest, throwing curveballs in the form of setbacks, failures, and disappointments. Most people give in. They bow to the pressure and blame circumstances for their lack of progress. But resilience, true unyielding resilience, doesn't allow for excuses. It's the ability to stare adversity in the face, absorb the lesson, and then get back to work. Weakness finds comfort in excuses, in blaming external factors. The economy is bad. I wasn't given the right opportunities. It's too hard. These statements might feel justified in the moment, but they are shackles that chain you to mediocrity. Resilience demands that you reject those excuses outright. You begin to understand that every challenge is an opportunity to adapt, grow stronger, and prove your worth. Picture someone who's failed repeatedly. Businesses collapsed. Relationships fell apart. Health deteriorated. A person without resilience would stay down, convinced the world is conspiring against them. But the resilient individual looks at failure as feedback. They understand that every misstep is a lesson, every obstacle a stepping stone. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a prerequisite. Resilience is built in the trenches. It's forged when you choose to keep going despite the pain, despite the fear, despite the overwhelming odds stacked against you. It's in those moments when quitting seems like the most reasonable option that resilience truly shines. Winners don't quit because they see the bigger picture. They know that temporary setbacks are just that, temporary. Consider the challenges life throws at you. It could be financial hardship, rejection, betrayal, or even personal doubts. These aren't reasons to stop, they're reasons to dig deeper. The most powerful breakthroughs often happen when you're at your lowest, because that's when you discover just how strong you really are. Resilience isn't about being unbreakable, it's about being unrelenting. You will stumble, you will fall, but resilience ensures you rise every single time. It's not just about enduring hardship, but thriving because of it. You learn to adapt, to pivot, and to grow. Life isn't going to hand you success on a silver platter. It's going to test whether you have the grit to earn it. Excuses are the easy way out, but they lead nowhere. Resilience takes effort, but it's the path to everything worth having. When you stop making excuses and instead build resilience, you stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You realize there are no perfect conditions, only perfect opportunities to fight for what you want. And in that fight, resilience ensures you never back down. An abundance mentality is a powerful shift in perspective that changes everything. Most people operate from a mindset of scarcity, a belief that there's never enough to go around. Whether it's money, opportunities, success, or even happiness, they live in fear of losing what little they have or not getting their fair share. This scarcity mindset is a prison, limiting creativity, ambition, and action. It convinces you to play small, to hoard, to compete for scraps instead of striving to create your own feast. But once you adopt an abundance mentality, the world opens up in ways you never thought possible. Abundance isn't about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about understanding that the universe is vast, opportunities are limitless, and success isn't a finite resource. When you embrace this mindset, you stop looking at others as competition and start seeing them as collaborators, or better yet, as inspiration. Someone else's success doesn't take away from your own potential. Instead, it proves what's possible. Scarcity says, if they win, I lose. Abundance says, if they can win, so can I. Imagine looking at your goals not through the lens of, I hope I can achieve this, but with the certainty that opportunities are abundant. When you believe there's more than enough to go around, your actions change. You stop chasing and start creating. Instead of scrambling for limited opportunities, you start generating them. You realize that life isn't a zero-sum game, it's an ever-expanding field of possibilities where your growth doesn't take away from anyone else. An abundance mindset also transforms how you handle setbacks and failure. Someone stuck in scarcity sees failure as proof that they weren't good enough or that success is out of reach. But with abundance, failure becomes a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey. You don't dwell on what didn't work. You focus on the lessons learned and move forward, knowing there are countless other paths to your goal. You begin to trust that the universe rewards persistence and creativity, and you act accordingly. This mindset isn't just about material wealth or career success. It extends to relationships, personal growth, and fulfillment. In scarcity, people cling to toxic relationships out of fear that they won't find better ones. They withhold affection, gratitude, or help because they think giving will leave them with less. In abundance, you understand that love, kindness, and generosity multiply when shared. You give freely, knowing it doesn't diminish you but enriches both you and others. You start surrounding yourself with people who inspire and elevate you, understanding there's no need to settle for less. The world reflects your mindset. If you believe resources are scarce, you'll find proof everywhere. If you believe opportunities are endless, you'll begin to see them in places you never looked before. This isn't about naive optimism. It's about training your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. Abundance fuels action. It gives you the confidence to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, and to pursue what you truly desire because you trust that even if one door closes, another will open. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with a choice. Every time you catch yourself thinking small or hoarding out of fear, challenge that thought. Ask yourself, what would I do if I truly believed there's enough for everyone, including me? Then act on it. Make decisions from a place of abundance, and watch how your life begins to align with that belief. The abundance mentality changes everything because it empowers you to stop living reactively and start living creatively. It breaks the chains of fear and scarcity that keep most people stuck. Once you make this shift, you stop competing for survival and start thriving in a world that's far richer than you ever imagined. Action is the ultimate antidote to fear, doubt, and mediocrity. The world is full of people with ideas, dreams, and plans, but few ever translate those into reality because they're paralyzed by overthinking. They want every detail to align perfectly, every risk to be minimized, and every outcome guaranteed before they take the first step. But life doesn't work that way. The truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. Success isn't about waiting, it's about acting. It's about making a move even when you don't have all the answers and figuring it out along the way. When you commit to action, you separate yourself from the masses. Most people spend their lives stuck in their heads, replaying the same scenarios, the same excuses, and the same fears. They think themselves into stagnation. But action breaks that cycle. The moment you take a step forward, however small, you shift the momentum in your favor. You stop being a passive observer of your life and become an active participant in creating it. Action has a way of clarifying things. You can spend months debating whether an idea will work, analyzing the risks and trying to predict the outcomes. But in reality, the only way to know is to do. The process of acting, failing, adjusting, and acting again reveals more than endless deliberation ever could. Each step forward teaches you something new, opens up possibilities you hadn't considered, and builds the confidence to keep moving. Fear thrives in inaction. When you sit still, your mind magnifies the risks, amplifies the doubts, and convinces you that the stakes are too high. But the moment you take action, fear begins to lose its grip. Action forces you to confront reality instead of being consumed by imaginary worst-case scenarios. It shifts your focus from what could go wrong to what you can do right now. Even if you stumble, even if you fail, the very act of trying diminishes fear's power. Success isn't a straight line, it's a messy, unpredictable journey. But those who succeed understand that action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. They don't wait for inspiration or motivation to strike. They generate it by doing. They take the first step, no matter how small, and let that step lead to the next. One action compounds into another, and before long, they've built a foundation of progress that others only dream about. Action is also the great equalizer. You don't need to be the smartest, the most talented, or the most experienced to succeed. The person who takes relentless action will always outperform the one who hesitates, no matter how brilliant their ideas might be. The world rewards effort, execution, and persistence, not potential. Your willingness to act is the single most important factor in determining how far you'll go. And here's the beauty of it: action creates confidence. People often think they need to feel confident before they can act, but it's the other way around. Confidence is the byproduct of doing. When you step out of your comfort zone and take action, you prove to yourself that you're capable. Each small victory builds your belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, and that belief becomes the fuel for even greater action. There will never be a perfect plan, and there will never be a time when you feel completely ready, but waiting for perfection is just another form of procrastination. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simply: successful people act. They act when they're scared, when they're uncertain, and when the odds are stacked against them. They act because they know that doing something, anything, is infinitely better than doing nothing. So stop overthinking. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Take action, make mistakes, learn, adjust, repeat. The world doesn't belong to those who dream, it belongs to those who do. And when you commit to a life of relentless action, you'll find that the path to success becomes clearer with every step you take. Growth only happens when you embrace discomfort. It's a universal truth that most people try to avoid because discomfort is, by definition, unpleasant. We are conditioned to seek ease, to stay in environments where we feel safe, where nothing challenges us, and where the stakes are low. But this comfort comes at a cost. It's a slow, subtle trap that keeps you stagnant, holding you back from the person you're capable of becoming. The reality is, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. Whether it's stepping into a gym for the first time, taking a financial risk, having an uncomfortable conversation, or venturing into unknown territory, it's in these moments that you stretch your limits. Comfort zones are seductive because they shield you from failure and risk, but they also shield you from progress. Every great achievement, every leap forward in life requires you to step outside that zone. It's where real learning happens, where you're forced to adapt, think critically, and find strength you didn't know you had. When you avoid discomfort, you're essentially saying, I'm okay with staying the same. But the problem is, life doesn't stay the same. It moves forward. And if you're not moving with it, you're falling behind. Discomfort is a signal that you're doing something new, something unfamiliar, and that's exactly what growth demands. You cannot evolve by repeating what you've always done. To become more, you must do more. And that means facing the fear and uncertainty that come with it. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, or creators. Do you think they got to where they are by staying comfortable? Absolutely not. They wake up early when the rest of the world is sleeping. They push their bodies and minds past what feels manageable. They take risks that could lead to failure, embarrassment, or loss. And they do it not because they enjoy discomfort, but because they understand that it's the price of excellence. They've learned to embrace the pain, the struggle, and the uncertainty because they know it's shaping them into something greater. Discomfort also teaches resilience. Every time you endure something difficult, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. You start to build a mental toughness that makes future challenges seem less daunting. Over time, what once felt unbearable becomes manageable, and what once seemed impossible becomes routine. This is how growth works. It's incremental, and it requires you to lean into the hard parts of life rather than run from them. The key to embracing discomfort is understanding that it's temporary. The pain you feel in the moment is fleeting, but the rewards of pushing through it can last a lifetime. Whether it's the physical discomfort of exercise, the emotional discomfort of vulnerability, or the mental discomfort of learning something new, the discomfort fades. What remains is the strength, the knowledge, and the confidence you gain from enduring it. Most people look at discomfort as a barrier, but it's really a gateway. It's the price of entry for a better life. If you want to build a stronger body, you have to endure the soreness of training. If you want to succeed in business, you have to face the risk of failure. If you want to grow emotionally, you have to confront difficult truths about yourself. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. It's showing you where you need to grow and pushing you toward the life you want. So, instead of avoiding discomfort, seek it out. Get used to being uncomfortable and watch how your life transforms. Push yourself to do the things that scare you, the things that challenge you, and the things that force you to grow. Embrace the struggle, because that's where your potential is waiting. Growth doesn't come easy, but it's always worth it. The moment you start welcoming discomfort is the moment you begin to unlock your true power. Your beliefs are the foundation of your reality, shaping every thought, decision, and action you take. If your beliefs are rooted in limitation, if you tell yourself you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough, those thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. You act in alignment with what you believe to be true about yourself, and as a result, your life mirrors those beliefs. But here's the transformative truth: beliefs aren't fixed. They can be challenged, rewritten, and reprogrammed. And when you change your beliefs, you change your entire life. Most people don't realize how much their beliefs control them because these beliefs often operate in the background, formed in childhood or through past experiences. Maybe someone once told you that success wasn't for people like you, or maybe you failed at something important and decided you weren't capable. Over time, these narratives hardened into beliefs that now dictate your potential. The good news is that beliefs are not facts. They're simply stories you've chosen to accept, and you have the power to rewrite them. Reprogramming your beliefs begins with awareness. Start by identifying the beliefs that are holding you back. Listen to the internal dialogue that plays in your mind. What do you say to yourself when things go wrong? What stories do you tell yourself about why you can't achieve certain things? The moment you recognize a limiting belief is the moment you can begin to dismantle it. Ask yourself, is this belief true? Is it serving me? Who would I be without it? Often, you'll find that these beliefs crumble under scrutiny because they were never rooted in reality. They were rooted in fear. Once you've identified the beliefs you want to change, it's time to replace them with empowering ones. Start telling yourself a new story. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am capable of learning and growing. Instead of, I'll never succeed, affirm, success is inevitable if I stay consistent and focused. At first, these new beliefs might feel foreign or even untrue. That's normal. But just as repetition ingrained your old beliefs, repetition will solidify your new ones. Speak these affirmations daily. Write them down. Visualize yourself living in alignment with them. The more you reinforce them, the more they become your reality. Action is the bridge between belief and transformation. It's not enough to think differently. You must act differently. Your actions will reinforce your new beliefs and give you evidence to support them. If you believe you're capable of success, start taking steps toward your goals, even if they're small. Each time you succeed, no matter how minor the win, your new belief is strengthened. It's a cycle. Belief fuels action, and action fuels belief. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes second nature. You also need to guard your beliefs against negativity. Surround yourself with people, environments, and information that reinforce your new mindset. If you spend your time with people who are constantly negative or doubting you, their energy will seep into your beliefs. But if you surround yourself with individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you, their influence will bolster your confidence. Be intentional about the voices you let into your life, because they shape your narrative just as much as your own thoughts do. This process of reprogramming isn't easy. It requires discipline, persistence, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. But the reward is immeasurable. When you rewrite your beliefs, you unlock a version of yourself that isn't bound by past failures or external limitations. You become someone who acts with purpose, who takes risks, and who refuses to settle for less than they're capable of achieving. The beauty of this process is that it's entirely within your control. No one else can do it for you, but no one else can stop you either. You have the power to choose what you believe about yourself and your potential. And when you choose beliefs that empower you, the world begins to reflect that power back to you. Reprogramming your beliefs isn't just about changing your mindset, it's about reclaiming your life and stepping into your full potential. Once you change the way you see yourself, everything else changes too. Focusing on the process is the key to mastering anything in life. Most people become so consumed with the end result that they overlook the steps required to get there. They dream of the rewards, the accolades, and the finish line, but they fail to realize that success isn't a moment, it's a journey. The truth is, you cannot control the outcome directly. What you can control is the effort, the discipline, and the focus you bring to the process. And it's in this process where the magic happens. When you focus solely on the outcome, you set yourself up for frustration. The results don't come overnight, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be can feel overwhelming. This is where many people give up. They don't see immediate progress, so they convince themselves that their efforts are in vain. But focusing on the process allows you to shift your attention from the distant finish line to what you can do today. It's about breaking your goals down into manageable, actionable steps and giving your all to each one. The process is where you develop your skills, build your resilience, and refine your craft. It's where you learn what works and what doesn't. Every repetition, every attempt, every small improvement compounds over time to create mastery. This is why the process matters more than the result. Results are fleeting. The process is lasting. When you embrace the process, you're no longer tied to external validation or arbitrary milestones. Your focus is on growth, learning, and becoming better than you were yesterday. Focusing on the process also brings clarity and presence. Instead of being overwhelmed by the enormity of your goals, you can zero in on the task at hand. You start asking, what can I do right now to move closer to where I want to be? This mindset not only makes the journey more manageable, but also more rewarding. When you're fully immersed in the process, you find joy in the work itself rather than constantly seeking happiness from the end goal. Moreover, the process builds character. It teaches you patience, persistence, and humility. You learn to appreciate the value of effort and the lessons that come from failure. The process strips away entitlement because it reminds you that nothing worth having comes easy. It's a humbling experience to work day in and day out, sometimes with little to show for it, but it's in these moments that you prove your commitment to your vision. The process demands grit, and it rewards those who stay the course. When you focus on the process, you also open yourself up to unexpected opportunities. The journey often leads you to places you didn't anticipate, introducing you to new ideas, people, and possibilities. These serendipitous moments wouldn't happen if you were solely fixated on a rigid outcome. By trusting the process, you allow space for growth and evolution beyond what you originally imagined. The beauty of focusing on the process is that it shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You're no longer chasing an elusive prize, fearing that you'll never reach it. Instead, you're actively building something of value every single day. Even if the ultimate goal changes or takes longer than expected, the skills, habits, and mindset you develop along the way stay with you. The process itself becomes the reward. This shift in perspective liberates you from the fear of failure. When you're process-oriented, failure is no longer an endpoint, it's a stepping stone. Every setback becomes a lesson, every mistake an opportunity to grow. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit and start viewing them as essential parts of the journey. The process teaches you that progress isn't linear, but as long as you keep moving, you're on the right path. Success isn't something you achieve someday. It's something you build every day through consistent effort and dedication. The process is what molds you, sharpens you, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. When you embrace the process, you stop waiting for permission to succeed and start taking ownership of your journey. You realize that the work you put in today is creating the future you desire, and in that realization you find freedom, power, and the ultimate satisfaction of knowing you're doing the work that truly matters. Laser-like focus on goals is the cornerstone of achievement. In a world filled with distractions, staying locked in on a singular purpose is what separates the extraordinary from the mediocre. Most people drift through life, pulled in multiple directions by fleeting desires, external noise, and the endless options that modern life presents. They chase after too many things at once, spreading their energy thin and achieving nothing of real substance. But those who understand the power of focus know that success demands precision. It's about channeling your energy, time, and resources into one objective until it becomes an unshakable reality. When you have clarity of purpose, distractions become irrelevant. A clear goal serves as your North Star, guiding every decision and action you take. You don't waste time on things that don't align with your mission because you understand that every moment spent on trivialities is a moment stolen from your progress. Focus doesn't just mean working hard, it means working smart. It's about identifying what truly matters and relentlessly pursuing it, blocking out the noise and temptations that pull others off course. True focus requires discipline. It means saying no to what doesn't serve your goal, even when it's tempting or convenient. It's about creating boundaries that protect your time and energy. You stop chasing instant gratification because you're playing the long game. Every decision becomes a choice between what feels good now and what will move you closer to your goal in the future. The more disciplined you are, the sharper your focus becomes, and the more unstoppable you grow. Focus also amplifies your productivity. When you give your undivided attention to one task, you operate at a higher level of efficiency and effectiveness. Multitasking, despite its appeal as a myth, it divides your attention and dilutes the quality of your work. But when you focus, you immerse yourself fully in the task at hand, and that's where breakthroughs happen. You accomplish more in less time because your mind is clear, your actions are intentional, and your efforts are laser-targeted. Challenges will test your focus. Life will throw obstacles, distractions, and temptations your way. People will try to pull you into their priorities, and your mind will wander to easier or more comfortable paths. But those who achieve greatness understand that focus isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about overcoming them. It's about staying committed to your vision, even when the journey becomes difficult. The ability to maintain focus in the face of adversity is what builds resilience and sets you apart. Focus also requires a deep connection to your why. When you know why your goal matters, when it's tied to something bigger than yourself, staying focused becomes natural. Your why fuels your determination and keeps you going when motivation wanes. It reminds you of what's at stake and reignites your drive when distractions threaten to derail you. Without a strong why, focus is fragile. With it, focus becomes unbreakable. The rewards of focus are exponential. It's not just about achieving your goals. It's about who you become in the process. Focus cultivates patience, discipline, and a relentless work ethic. It teaches you to value progress over perfection and to celebrate the small wins that build momentum. As you hone your focus, you start to notice how much further you're advancing compared to those who scatter their energy. Your results speak louder than words, and your success becomes inevitable. Ultimately, laser-like focus is a choice. It's a decision to prioritize your dreams above all else and to pursue them with unwavering dedication. It's about understanding that you can have anything, but not everything, and choosing what matters most to you. When you commit to this level of focus, you align your actions with your ambitions, and nothing can stand in your way. Success is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of focus. In the end, everything comes down to the choices you make, the mindset you adopt, and the actions you take. The shift that changes everything is not some mysterious secret or external factor. It's the decision to take full control of your life. It's about rejecting excuses, challenging your limiting beliefs, embracing discomfort, focusing relentlessly on your goals, and committing to a process of growth. Success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect moment or dwell on what they lack. It comes to those who show up, put in the work, and refuse to quit. The mindset shift is realizing that you already have everything you need within you. The only thing holding you back is the story you've been telling yourself. Change the story, change your actions, and you'll change your life. Start today. Start where you are with what you have, and trust that as you keep moving forward, the path will unfold. Remember, the world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. Take the leap, embrace the struggle, and make your mark. Your future self is waiting for you to step up and claim the life you deserve. The choice is yours, and the time is now.